Today I'll be going up Battle Mountain, which is a geographic point and landmark here near Escondido, California. It was used for years as a known landmark near Old Highway 395, but today you can still see Battle Mountain and the large white cross that stands atop it from the I-15 highway. So the walk up Battle Mountain is not very long. Depending on how in shape you are, or perhaps how fast you go, it could take you around 10 minutes. But I will say, as you can see here, it's pretty narrow on parts of it, and it's very steep and rocky. So definitely wear some good hiking shoes as you're going up, because yeah, you're gonna need them. Now, most people believe that Battle Mountain here is named for the Battle of San Pasqual, which did take place a few miles north of here. And I covered that in a previous video and talked about the engagements that took place in December of 1846. Some histories say that there was a different battle that took place here on this mountain, which is perhaps why it's called Battle Mountain. Now, I've read some sources that say perhaps in the 1830s, maybe a little bit before that, there was actually an engagement that took place here between San Pasqual Indians and Yuma Indians. And as the story goes, Yuma Indians, who were known for their fighting prowess, who lived pretty far east of here, closer to the Colorado River, at one point they had moved their way westward and carried out a raid on the outskirts of a San Pasqual Indian village. And once they carried out that raid, they killed a few people and they left. So the San Pasquals gathered up some men and went after the Yuma Indians that carried out the raid. And it's said that the Yuma Indians came to this mountain here that we're walking up and came to the crest and essentially dared the San Pasqual Indians to attack them. So instead of charging up the hill and giving Yuma Indians the high ground, the San Pasqual Indians decided to actually set fire to this mountain. And with all the dry brush that you can see behind me and around me and as we walk up, the hill caught on fire. And as the story goes, some Yuma Indians were burned alive and anybody who tried to escape were killed. It's a really fascinating story. I really haven't been able to find anything that can corroborate or validate that any of those events took place, or if they even took place here. But at any rate, it is quite an interesting story. And just walking up this hill and knowing the landscaping, knowing the history of this area, you know, who knows? Could have happened, may have happened right here. If I were to guess, I would say I'm about halfway up, taking a short breather, but the views of the valley below and the mountain range in the distance, it's already quite phenomenal. Really looking forward to seeing what the view is from the top. So I've made it to the top of Battle Mountain, and as expected, the views in all directions make this short but somewhat arduous hike completely worth it. Of course, the most prominent feature atop Battle Mountain is the large white cross, which you can see before me. And this cross can be seen, of course, during the day from really traffic anywhere in the area, especially going up and down the I-15, and at night as well. This cross is pretty well lit. You can see here it has lights on the ground. Now, the story behind this cross, it was originally placed atop here for Easter, or around Easter time, in 1966. And over the years, it was damaged and ultimately had to be replaced. And if I remember correctly, this cross that's currently standing today was placed sometime in the 1980s. Of course, since then, and I believe somewhat recently, it's been refurbished and taken care of over the years. But again, it stands atop Battle Mountain here as a very large visual aid and marker for anybody driving by. But again, these views are just phenomenal. Down here to the west, looking down the west side of the mountain, is the I-15 interstate, which we can see cutting through the valley and the mountains below. Oh, yeah, this view, it's kind of hazy today. I'm not sure if that's just fog or a marine layer coming off the ocean, or if that's just a little bit of maybe that mixed with some of that California haze. But for such a short hike to get these views is definitely worth it. I talked a little bit about the Battle of San Pasqual and then the fight that took place on Mule Hill in 1846. And actually, if you look closely there below, you can see Mule Hill right down there with those two rocky outcroppings. And it was there in the latter days of the Battle of San Pasqual in December of 1846 that General Kearny and his men were basically trapped and laid siege to by the Californios there at Mule Hill. And again, it's named Mule Hill because General Kearny and his men had to kill and eat their mules, for they were so short on food. They were ultimately saved by a contingent of American soldiers and Marines who marched up from San Diego. But it is neat to actually be able to see Mule Hill there in the distance. Like I said, I believe that this mountain, Battle Mountain, was initially named because of the Battle of San Pasqual. But the legend that is around Battle Mountain, the fight that took place between Yuma and San Pasqual Indians and the burning of the mountain, I don't know if it's truth or legend, but either way, it's a pretty magnificent story and just in a way captures the history and some of the conflict that took place here in this valley and in amidst these mountains. All right, heading down the mountain now, and the way down's a little more difficult than I expected, so make sure you take your time if you ever do this hike. And you know, at the end of the day, a lot of great views. I had a lot of fun utilizing the drone, not gonna lie. Hopefully you enjoyed the views as much as I did. But, you know, truth or legend, not really sure what may have happened here on Battle Mountain, but either way, kind of a cool story and even better views. All right, until next time.